Hello, I am attorney Mitty R. Smith, and I'm located in High Point, North Carolina. Today is Friday, November 9th, 2012, and I will be interviewing Judge Sammie Jr. The purpose of this interview is to address, first of all, the frequent occurrence of Black people not telling their own stories or others telling their stories without accuracy. I will be asking Judge Chess to tell his history in his own words, including the social, legal, and political atmosphere at the time that he was growing up, as he was becoming a lawyer, during the time that he actually was a lawyer, and as he sat on the bench as a judge in both Superior Court and as an administrative law judge. The hope is that this interview will be of use in the near and far future for those who are interested in Judge Chess personally, interested in the times that he will be talking about, and without having to rely on the accuracy of the memories of other people, and without them having to come to conclusions based on conjecture and assumptions. The plan is to do as thorough an interview as is necessary. And by making it a thorough interview, it will probably be a long interview. However, we hope that you will find it both interesting and engaging, and also informative. Judge Chess, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Okay. Judge Chess, before we go back in years, tell us what you're doing at this time.
I'm in retirement.
And how long have you been retired?
5 years, this November 1st.
So November 1st of 2007, you retired.
Yes.
Okay. And you retired from what?
I was an administrative law judge in the state of North Carolina.
And before we move off that subject, would you just briefly tell us what is, for the general public, what exactly does an administrative law judge do, or what types of cases does he handle?
An administrative law judge hears cases which involve disputes between citizens and an agency of state government.
For example, you say for highway patrolmen, teachers.
Well, administrative agencies, environmental matters.
And if I remember, you also heard quite a few things relating to hospitals, is that right?
Hospitals, yes.
And what types of things would that have been?
Well, the rating, the care given patients, hospitals filing an application to expand its facilities or services, and other similar facilities might file an objection to the state agency granting the request of a hospital, in that it might impact their number of patients.
Okay. All right. And so how long, well, final question on this about the administrative law judge thing, at least for this time. How long did you serve as an administrative law judge?
16 years.
And so you went onto the bench as an administrative law judge on or about when?
1992,
Was 1991?
something like that.
Okay. And how does, okay, I said that would be the final question. I'll come back to it as we get back into this. Now, where were you born and
I was
when?
born in Allendale, South Carolina.
Okay, and when was this?
1934,
Was, if I remember
uh,
correctly, something like March 29th,
March
1934.
28th, 1934.
All right. And do you have siblings?
No,
You were the only child of your parents.
yes.
And your parents' names?
My father's name was Sammie Chess Sr., and my mother's name was Susanna Haygood uh, Chess Hicks.
And South Carolina was home for your father, I know.
Yes.
And are they still with you?
My father died in 1985.
And your mother?
Died
Just recently.
just recently.
So what exactly are you doing now in retirement?
Not much.
Not much. Okay. Now, when you were born in South Carolina, did you grow up in Allendale, South Carolina?
Until I was 9 years old.
And what happened at that time?
My parents moved to New York City.
Okay. Do you remember the reason why? Because that would have been during the time of the Great Migration, I think is
Well,
what they call it.
my father, my family were farmers. Uh, and my father told me that one day he was uh, plowing and he kept playing over in his mind a scenario that took place every year when he went to settle up with white people who ran various stores that he had to get farm supplies, seed, and plows, and things used to grow things. And he said that he noticed that every year uh, he went to find out how much he owed. He always paid his debt and had a great crop each year. My family had a long history of great farming. And each year, the proprietor of the store uh, would say, how did you do this year, Sam? And with pride, he'd tell him, I had so many bales of cotton and so many bushels of corn and so forth and so on, because we had a very large farm. And then the owner would start digging supposedly and then would tell him how much he owed. And it never, he had never uh, made enough to pay for the seed and the other things that he had gotten. And that's what he was thinking about on this date. And all of a sudden it kicked in that no one ever told him how much he owed until they found out how much he made. And upon that realization, he stopped the mule in mid-row, unhitched it, took it to the barn, and on Saturday, he was on a train to New York.
Okay. Now, was your father a sharecropper?
No, we owned hundreds of acres, but you had to go to the general store for supplies, for seed, for uh, plows, for uh, collars for the animal, you know.
What would have happened if he had questioned or said he had proof that he did not owe what they claimed he owed?
Well, I don't.
at that time?
Yeah, at that time that probably would it would have availed him nothing because a a white uh, judge in Allendale County would have heard the matter if they would even entertain such a complaint. So he did what people did at that time. You you went elsewhere.
Now, you said that your father left on that Saturday. Did you and your mother go with him at that time or
He
later?
went to make enough money to send for us, and that was within 2 3 weeks.
You
Yeah,
know, do you remember that trip?
I do. I had never been. Uh, I'd only been out of Allendale County 1 or 2 times. One time went to Savannah, where I saw my first airplane on the ground, and other than that, uh, I'd gone into Allendale on some Saturdays, uh, not frequently, but so that was quite an experience riding the train from what is it, the Silver Meter out of Jacksonville, Florida, that ran that route, and seeing tall buildings for the first time.
Okay, and you were 9 at that point.
That was nice.
Do you remember if you looked to this trip with glee or happiness or sadness?
Neither. Didn't think about it. I was with my parents. Didn't make any difference.
Okay, and so now you find yourself at the age of 9, directly off the farm
Mm-hmm.
into the big city of, I take it was Harlem,
Harlem.
in Harlem. Do you remember your first appearance in seeing, your first time seeing Harlem?
Yeah. Well, we came. Of course, we went into Penn Station, which is on 34th Street in New York, downtown New York, and you get on. So I didn't really see anything because when you go in a tunnel to get to Penn Station, and at Penn Station you get a subway. So really, I'd seen nothing until we exit the the subway, and then all of a sudden, all these tall buildings sprang up instantly.
But before I have you leave South Carolina, let's go back there for a second. What was it like growing up there? What types of things did you all do?
Well, it was great. I had all my cousins that I played with. We went to swimming holes. We fished, and uh,
You grew up on a farm, almost like a compound of your
yeah,
father's family. Is that right?
yeah, yeah.
Your father was one of how many children?
13.
And what number was he?
He was the oldest boy.
And which child was he the oldest child and the oldest boy?
He was oldest boy. I think there were 2 girls older than my father.
And they all had their children in homes around on the farm.
Yes. As
So
they married, my grandmother gave them places on our farm. Uh, the in-laws, all of the son-in-laws and daughters-in-laws, they all lived on our farm.
do you remember what kind of acreage you had at that time?
Oh, at that time, probably uh, about 800.
Okay. And what was school like? Did you attended school there during that?
Uh, about 2 or 3 days.
You attended school about 2 or 3 days out of the year?
That's about not much more than that. Yeah.
You remember why? Was there any particular reason?
Uh, it was a good little ways to walk. Well, uh, probably four, probably 4 miles, something like
One way?
that.
Okay. And I remember over the years of my talking with you, was there some creek you had to cross or something of that sort?
It's amazing that I was thinking about that. We had our property was uh, there was a stream that cut the property in half. So many 100 acres on one side, so many 100 acres on the other side. A natural boundary, and we had to go across the creek. They call it the branch. We had to go across the branch to go to school. And in the winter, uh, the, the log, the tree that was cut to walk across, down, the tree fell down, and you walked across that tree to get to the other side. After a while, the bark would be worn off of it, and the tree would be as slick as marble. And in the early mornings, when the frost was on the tree, and later on, just plain ice, you had to walk across, and that was quite a balancing act to walk. And more often than not, we ended up in the creek, but we went on to school and sat by uh, a, a potbelly stove that was in the middle of the floor to dry off.
Hmm.
Now I can't go out and get a few drops on my head without catching a cold. And then you know, was probably barefoot. I don't remember. I don't think I had any shoes. I think I was. We were all barefoot, but the body gets acclimated. And I was telling my wife the other day, I don't think I ever saw my grandmother in a pair of shoes.
Okay. So now, not only were you moving from where something that you knew very well, which was the country, to the big city, you're now wearing shoes for the almost the first time.
Well, uh, country kids didn't wear shoes. Had some Sunday shoes if you were fortunate. Uh, but I remember my mother telling me about wearing her Sunday shoes to church, and you went barefoot until you got to the church ground, to the edge of the church ground, and then you put them on. She made a mistake of putting them on too soon, and her grandmother made her pay a price. Walking unnecessarily,
In your shoes.
wearing out these shoes unnecessarily.
Okay. But now you stated that you had within a year you might attend school 3 days. Was that the entire year or just during the winter?
Well, it was not a lot of. I don't remember clearly how often, but it was not very often.
What was the social climate like for black folks and white folks at the time when you lived in South Carolina? Do you remember that?
Well, there was no interaction or whatever. No, black folks interacted, worked all week, and on weekends, somebody would have a gathering at their house. If it's in the summer, it might be outside. If in the winter, it would be inside. They had good social life.
Do you remember any? Do you remember personally experiencing any discriminatory actions?
No, I wasn't put in a position to experience any uh, such thing.
Did you find that most black parents kept their children from situations that could give rise to
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What about the adults? Did you ever hear about anything happening to adults who had to go out among the white population?
Well, uh, well My father was quite a had a big head. As uh, he did not uh, take well certain conditions, and they have some of the white people have told my grandmother that they need to talk to him because he he had a big head. Uh, didn't listen. He was indifferent to a lot of the rules and so forth.
Would that be almost like what they used to say, black folk not knowing their places?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember, my my father would not sell his watermelon for 5 cents. Watermelons that were too big for a lot of folks to pick up. That sandy terrain was was perfect for raising watermelon. And he said that I'd feed my watermelon to the hogs before I'd work all this time, put all this money into and sell them to you for 5 cents a piece. And so, not to be outdone, my dad uh, went, we didn't have a truck, went to Orangeburg and bought a flatbed truck, bought it, paid for it, came back and loaded his watermelons on the truck, took them to Columbia, to the farmer's market, and got a, a price that he was more than pleased with, and came back and told the other black farmers about this, and he took their watermelon and other things to the farmers market in in Columbia.
Was he ever threatened in any way by whites by that simple action of what he was doing, which was a smart thing?
Yeah. Well, they didn't. Of course, they didn't like that because their living consisted of doing nothing and uh, forcing the blacks to sell to them at their price. They set the price for what they would give the farmers for their goods and services. Mm-hmm. And so, no, they didn't have any watermelon to sell because of what my father did. The fella that sold him, that sold my father the truck, they found out who he was and ran him out of town. But that's how they work that thing.
Did they ever physically threaten your dad in any way?
No, no. My family was pretty prominent in that community. My great grandfather, I understand, was one of the 3 largest landowners in Allendale County, and so he and some of the other 2 landowners met and they were close, and he was highly regarded. One of the older citizens in Allendale County called me probably 30 to 60 days ago to tell me about what his father, this fellow's up in his 80s, told me what his father told him about, my great-grandfather, and said there was a holiday. They declared a holiday when uh, Baxter came to town. This is Baxter. My grandmother was a Baxter, Ella Baxter Chess. And so they declared black folks, they declared a holiday whenever he came to town. So they were overwhelmed because of his standing in the county. And he had 27 families who lived on our farm, uh, families. And so uh, my father didn't have any, any problems, though he was big-headed, that they call it.
Mhm. Okay, now you're in New York. What was school like for someone who had just come up from South Carolina, having had a few more days of schooling each year? What was school like for you?
Uh, it was a new experience, uh, totally new and unfamiliar. Uh, but my father, uh, insisted that I learn all I could, and I did, and to be a good citizen. Uh, Upon graduation in the sixth grade, I was awarded the Mary Washington Award for good citizenship. And to my father, uh, that would make him happier than if I were given a Nobel Prize, because he prized good citizenship.
So, what grade did you go into when you went to New York at the age of
Uh,
9?
Fourth grade.
And you were able to function at the fourth grade level,
Mhm,
having had almost no schooling in South Carolina?
mhm.
How do you account for that? I mean,
Well, just hard work. Uh, Obstacles are only permanent if you lay down and whine and not do something about it.
do you remember what the reception of the teachers, or what was the reaction of the teachers when you went to school?
Well, of course, they were pretty shocked at the uh, low level of preparedness, which is understandable. But I had a cousin who was born in New York and was a good student, and he helped me with my homework and a lot of the. We stayed with them.
Okay.
He was like a brother. His mother and my mother grew up together in Allendale as sisters in the same household. And so we left Allendale, went to New York, and we moved in with him.
Okay, but whose relative was this? You said like a sister.
Well, uh, she was the daughter of my mother's uncle.
Oh,
Her
okay.
mother and my mother's uh, uncle were brothers.
Okay. So, do you remember any of first experiences when you first got to New York at the age of 9? Anything that stands out to you today?
Well, you had gangs, something you never heard of. Our first day out, we were uh, right around Adam Clayton Powell's church on 37, 38, somewhere around in there. Standing in front of it's either RKO or Lowe's Theater. And some boys came and they were robbing us. They robbed us, threw us up against a building and rifling through my pockets. And I was strong, kid for my age. And I took the fellow who had collared me, and I took him and slammed him up against the building and was ready to crack his jaw, and my cousin caught my fist. I mean, I saw a look of horror, shock, fear. And he pulled my hand and said, don't you ever do that. What are you talking about? He was taking my money and, had his hand in my collar and so forth. And then he started to explain the culture, that these guys were part of the Slicksters, I think was the name of the gang that ruled that area.
How old was your cousin?
He's 3 or 4 years older now.
Okay. Do you remember the school that you attended?
Yes. I attended PS 105, which is right down the hill from City College. City College was 2 or 3 blocks up the hill from where we lived. We lived on 141st Street between Lenox and 8th Avenue. And they go then at St. Nicholas going up, and then the next would be up on the heights of City College.
Did you have any problems understanding people speak, or did people have trouble understanding you speak?
They had a lot of trouble understanding my speech.
But did you speak in what we now, or what was kind of frequently called Geechee talk?
Yeah, well, that was the only way to speak. That's what I grew up speaking. I'm from that part of the country where it's spoken.
Okay. So you were about to tell me about, you kind of laughed when I asked you about did people have trouble understanding you or you understanding them?
Well, I'm sure they had a trouble understanding me. I didn't know a noun from a pronoun, a verb from an adverb. Never heard of such. Didn't know how to compose a sentence. Didn't know how to write a sentence. Because we didn't have any of that.
I'm going to ask you to tell a story that you used to tell me about someone coming to the apartment and knocking.
This is 2 or 3 days after we were in New York, and we were told never to answer the door without asking, "Who is it?" So there came this rap on the door, and I was closest to the door. So I said, "Who is it?" And there was this response. And then I went back to tell an adult. They said, "Who was it? Who is it, little Sam?" So I said, "There's a man says he's here looking for green tomato." so what he was saying, he was there to read the meter. And I interpreted that sounded to me like he said he was there looking for green tomatoes. so there was this disconnect in understanding the language.
Did the other children laugh at you?
Of course.
So were you teased a lot?
Quite much. You would expect that.
Did you have to fight any at all?
Not really. I stood my ground. There was wasn't brought up to be fearful. My father taught me wrestling and all that sort of stuff, the African way, when I was young. And I knew how to box and wrestle. So I wasn't intimidated. Sometimes it's uh, probably good not to know your defects, because sometimes it's your defects, imagined or real, that hold you back. And so I did fine because no one was. I didn't think anybody was better than I was. My grandmother told me uh, that remember that you are better than no one, but no one's better than you. And I always believed what she said. And so where other people saw uh, defects or shortcomings, uh, I didn't believe them. I believed my grandmother.
How much education did your father have?
My father had none, no formal training, whatever.
Okay.
And let me hasten to say, of all the people I've met and followed, Dr. King, Thurgood, you name all the great figures, uh, I have had the good fortune to come under the tutelage of. My father was the best. He was a great teacher. And now you go around the country and you have uh, judges and lawyers that have been part of my professional life, telling you my father's stories that they've learned through me, and they claim that their lives have been enriched by the wisdom imparted by my father.
And your mother? Did she have any?
Yes, my mother's. Oh, my mother was. She taught thrift and hard work. Great, 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 great girl.
Did she have any formal education?
No, my
Okay.
mother less than six. Less than six. Great girl, great girl. No nonsense. I suspect I would have my life would have been a lot different if it had not been for her unyielding uh, uh, disciplinary uh, requirements.
What do you mean, and why did you say that?
Well, I was 16. I thought I was, well, particularly after I got 16. For a boy on the street, 16, you're grown. So you don't have to listen to anybody. I wasn't inclined to listen to anybody to begin. But once I got 16, my parents were divorced by that time. I was living with my mother. And uh, she found me to be a handful.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to come to that.
Yeah.
Now, you growing up in Harlem, and you there up until when?
August of 1946.
And what happened at that point?
We came to High Point, North Carolina.
So you were 12 at that time.
Mhm.
And is that at the point when your parents were divorced,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you came here with your mother, and your father remained in
New
Harlem?
York, yeah.
Okay. So what was it like? Now you've come back not to the country, but to a smaller town than where you were. What was it like coming here to High Point?
Well, I had some good friends. My mother uh, sought out good families with boys about my age, and it so happened that the people that lived right behind us uh, had boys my age.
Would that have been the Saunders?
The Mingos.
Mingos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saunders lived in what's now Macedonia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where was your mother living? Where were you all living?
We were living on Bynum Street.
Does that street
That's
still exist?
No, it is where the housing project is next to Mount Vernon, right off of Park Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I live down in that gully.
And so, do you remember your first day here? I asked that about Harlem. Do you remember your first day here?
Not particular.
Were you happy to be leaving Harlem?
No. No. As a matter of fact, I'm very upset to leave. And it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me.
Why did you say that?
Oh, well, if the success of others is any measure of what would have become of me, I was very fortunate to leave most of it. I don't know if there's anybody alive that I grew up with in Harlem.
What was the
Well,
cause?
drugs, crime, that sort of thing. It swallows you up.
What
The
happened to
street.
the cousin that helped you when you first got there? What happened with him?
Well, he did okay. He did okay. Yeah, he did okay. He died 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah,
So now you're here
High Point.
in High Point. What was the reception of the teachers here when you came?
Well, we in New York, all my teachers were Irish. I had no black teachers in New York. Here, all my teachers were black. Uh, there was never any disparaging uh, remarks about my Geechee backward talk or backward manners and that sort of thing
Where? Here or in New
in
York?
in New York.
Okay.
And in High Point, uh, with few exceptions, the teachers were great. Uh, they saw my deficiencies and took to trying to help me overcome those deficiencies. They embraced me because my parents insisted that I be mannerly and to respect authority and to listen. And so I don't think I was a hard boy to like uh, because all my teachers liked me. Everybody liked me because I was a gentleman and I was respectful of authority, all those things that teachers and others like. And so they embraced me, and I was able to overcome the deficiencies with constant nurturing all around.
Now, what grade did you come into here in High Point?
7th grade.
Okay, okay, but you mentioned deficiencies. What types of things did the teachers here assist you with that you had not?
Educational.
Okay.
Uh,
But grade appropriate,
yeah.
grade level. You
Well,
mean?
uh, they just embraced me as a student, as a whole person. Wherever they uh, saw deficiencies, they addressed them without saying, when you look back over the whole spectrum, you see how they filled in uh, gaps that needed to be addressed.
But now let me ask, before I leave New York, and I know we already have, but let me go back there for just a second. For the social atmosphere of New York at the time that you all were there,
Mhm.
uh, did your parents find it to be so different in terms of the social aspects of New York than they had been experiencing
I
in?
think my parents enjoyed New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know of any discriminatory actions there in New York?
Oh, New York wasn't much different, and any place else, just as it is today. Uh, there was Black Society, which was basically from 110th Street up to 145th Street. And Black people lived within that community, I guess. I've never been to Chinatown, but I suspect the same kind of thing there. You go over to New Jersey, Italian and so forth. People had a tendency to group themselves based on, where they came from and where their families lived.
Just in a bigger area.
Yeah.
So did you find it to be, or have you found it to be the melting pot that we talk about, or as more of the salad bowl that everybody says
Well,
is everything you can still distinctly tell?
if you'll remember, maybe 10 years ago, was not South Beach. Some Black drivers got lost, so to speak, not too far lost, just went down the wrong street. And they found themselves in a neighborhood, and they were almost killed.
This is in New York, the New York area.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember
Almost
that.
killed. So, and that's just a few years ago. 10.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of difference. You didn't have discrimination as such because you were interacting with Blacks. There was no interaction with whites, in New York to amount to anything.
We were living in New York at the time that George Washington, Alabama's governor.
George Wallace.
Wallace, thank you. I don't know why I said George Washington. George Wallace was running for president, and he came to New York to be on the Johnny Carson show. And it was with great anticipation that the public was waiting for Johnny Carson to handle George Wallace. And when George Wallace was on the show, he mentioned to Mr. Carter and Johnny Carson, and all deference and respect as Southerners have a way of doing, and to disarm sometimes. He says, well, Mr. Carson, you all as segregated as we are. I notice while I ride around here, I don't see Blacks living among the whites here. And he went on to mention this thing about the teachers being in Black schools, but at the end of the school day, they drove out of the neighborhood back to their neighborhoods. That reminds me of what you were just saying. Now, bringing you back here to High Point, you're in school. You said except with a few exceptions, your teachers were very receptive of you and supportive. Do you mind telling the story of the one thing that you used to tell me about?
Well, I had one teacher who came to my 7th grade class and took me out of class to put me on exhibit in another class to illustrate the backwardness of Geechee people. And I stood before the had me. She just came to class, took me out of my regular class and went to another class, and she spoke to me. Say something, Geechee. Say something.
And you're at that time 12 years old.
12 years old. Well, I didn't know what she's talking about, but she was poking me. And years later, that same teacher kept my phone ringing whenever her folks came into town to have me come as her premier dinner guest, a magnet that pulls all communities together. This is one of my students. Well, and I never said anything about it. Never reminded her anything. But how does one forget that?
I was about to ask.
One
Yeah.
doesn't forget. But again, having been brought up the way that didn't bother me because in the end, if there's such a thing, I had the last laugh, but I don't laugh.
What does not kill you makes you strong.
Stronger. Yeah,
Okay.
that's better. Yeah, my grandma told me that. Yeah. So, but I never said anything. And the people who contributed the most never asked for anything of any kind. No recognition, nothing.
Were you ever tempted to tell the teacher, remind her,
No,
or to say no to her invitation?
no.
Hmm.
See, then I've been reduced to her level
I see.
of smallness.
Hmm.
If I did that, no. She didn't. She can't make me or break me. It's up to me.
Yeah.
And if I am reduced to to the pettiness,
And she's one in a way.
yeah.
Yeah. But what type of student were you? I mean, what types of grades and things did you get?
I was an average student, basically because I saw no need to excel, because as I looked around, the black students that went to college were in the factories. Uh, that was the only work available for them. And being the smarty that I thought I was, and I said, well, I go to college to come back and work in the factory. I can go to the factory and have an up on the people who are coming back to
A
college.
head start, huh?
I have a head start. And I remember that very clearly. So when I was 16, I dropped out and I went to the factory using my thinking.
Uh-huh.
uh, and so we'll get to Mr. Burford later, I suppose.
Yes, we will. I know he was very key in your life. Okay, now you were born during the time of Franklin Delano Roosevelt as president.
Hmm.
Do you remember any discussions about him or the impact of him in any way?
Well, now one thing that happened in New York, we read newspapers every day. Everybody carried a newspaper, whether they read it or not.
Okay.
But we happened to read.
When you say we,
I-
your
my,
class?
my household.
Oh, okay.
We read the paper every day, and the war was going on, and I could tell you.
This is the Second World War.
Yeah, I can tell you what went on at Guam, Guadalcanal, all those various things, places in the Pacific, as we fought, uh, the Japanese in those campaigns, and didn't they didn't carry uh, the campaign in Germany as much
Hmm.
as they did. At least I don't recall that, but I can tell you everything that took place uh, in in the war against Japan.
What do you remember the reaction of the comments of people when we dropped the bombs?
Oh, elation.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I remember when it was done, and I remember when they surrendered. I can see myself in the window. Uh, People threw confetti and hollering out the windows, and people just pouring into the streets uh, after it was announced that the war was over.
Just Chess, you were saying that you dropped out at 16 and went into the factories. How long were you there?
Uh, about a week, uh, not more than a week or two.
Well, how did you happen to come from the factories? What happened?
Well, when school started, Mr. Burford, the principal of Williamson High School,
Samuel Burford.
Samuel E. Burford, inquired of some of my running buddies, "Where's Sammy?" So they said, he said he ain't come back to school. And so Mr. Burke wanted to know where I was working. And they told me. And a few days later, he showed up on my job. And I had my back stiffened and so forth. And sort of expected that he was going to be meddling in my affairs and coming to find me. Want to know why I'm not in school. So in anticipation, already had the answer. First was that I dropped out. I'm 16, and you can't make me come back to school. So I'm
Now that was the rule here of the law
at
in school.
16.
Yeah,
You could drop out at 16. I
exactly.
suspect it's still a law.
It is.
You
Yeah.
don't. Yeah. So I dropped out at 16, and I was ready for him, and I told him that I dropped out. Nothing he could do about it. That gave me a chance to, you know, talk back, give him a laugh, and see you talk back. You know, nothing he could do about it. Now, overcome that. I trumped you. You know, your effort make me so. So he said, well, first of all, I didn't come here to make you come back to school. That's all I had. I mean, he pulled the rug out from under me, and that was my whole case. No, I didn't come here to make you come back to school. I came here to see what it would take to get you to come back, to make the decision to come back. I can't make it. What would it take for me to do to have you come back to school? So all of a sudden I felt, well, empowered. I'm in the. So I thought, if I had known that, anticipated where he was coming from, I'd have had more demands. But I only had one demand. He said, I said, I want me a job. I said, okay. What else? You know, I stuttered and thought, that's all I want. And that's really all I want. And so I said, well, you come back to school on Monday, and when you leave, I'll have a job for you to go to. And sure enough, I went back. He had a job, and I was raking in the money. He had me a job, got a job for me shining shoes. And
Where were you shining shoes?
I was shining shoes on at the barber shop where the telephone company sits now. the parking lot for North State Communications.
So that would have been a white barbershop?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I made, gosh, first Saturday I made $16. And that was a lot of money.
Do you remember what the hourly wage was for others at that time?
If you had a good job, 50 cents an hour. Adult that made $50, 50 cents an hour, sent his kids to college, and he had a car and that sort of stuff. And so $16 was a lot of money. And then I started working, and not just on Friday. I started going after school on Friday.
Worked all day on Saturday?
Worked all day on Saturday.
How long did you do that work?
I shined shoes until I got ready to go to college.
Okay. So now you're back in school and working at the job that you had requested. What was school like for you at that level and making money? Were you ever tempted to leave school again?
Well, Mr. Burford said that he thought about undermining me and taking the job because it was, that was a lot of money. But again, I made a lot of money using my home training, being pleasant and gracious and that sort of stuff. And so that's how Pullman porters and other service people, most of the doctors were service employees, worked on the railroad or some providing
Are
service.
we talking about medical doctors or PhD doctors?
Medical doctors.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were not able to practice medicine?
You got to get through med
school.
school.
You mean to get there? Okay.
You got to finance your education.
Okay.
Most kids had no money, their parents had, and they went by working. And during the summer, they made enough money to pay their tuition and so forth for the ensuing year.
See. Now, what did your parents say about you dropping out of school at 16?
What are they going to say? I was 16. I'm grown.
Now, earlier, I got the indication when you said that your mother was a strict disciplinarian, that something happened around that time to indicate how strict she was as a disciplinarian. Was there anything, or did I just?
No, that was just the way she's brought up, and that's the way she's going to bring me up. No laying around in the bed and that sort of stuff. You get up and you do something useful.
Did she ever use corporal punishment with you?
Often and severe. Broomsticks. I expect your daddy do something. He probably got some broom straws, and 2, 3 together. My mother took the straw off the broom and took the whole stick. And I remember that's probably the last time I got one. I was playing cards near the sidewalk off of Underhill, where Hoover Funeral Home is now. And I was playing with an older boy, probably 4 or 5 years, just sitting down playing pity pad, blackjack, no money involved. But being the religious person that she was, all card playing was sinful. There's no greater sin than one who would, spend time playing cards. And so she came down the street, and I'm sitting out there, and she said, "Go home this minute." And she was livid with rage. So I went home, And when she came, she's just crying. I'm out here working hard. Uh, a respectable woman, and you out here disgracing me, uh, playing cards. And she was crying, and so she didn't do anything. I thought, man, she's just crying, letting out a lot of tears, but she's not going to do anything.
How old were you at this time?
Oh, I was 15 or 16.
Okay, go.
And I woke up about 2 or 3 o'clock that morning. She had her knee uh, in the between my neck and my shoulder, had me pinned. And, but I was a big, strong boy. And she told me that's why she said, I wasn't going to have you resisting. She pinned me, literally pinned me down in the bed. She had a broomstick that she cut off about the size of a blackjack, a club. And I mean, she beat me and she cried and she cried, disgracing me, playing cards in public. She just cried and cried. That hurt her so. Because again, religious background and sinning badly in public. Uh, what would people say? What kind of mother would let her son, you know, gamble on the streets? And of course, it wasn't gambling, but they don't know. What is she? She doesn't know anything about it. Didn't know one card from another. But it was playing. She knew cards. Didn't know one. And so she said, I just can't manage you anymore. I'm going to send you to live with your daddy. That changed. That changed me. Because my dad, my dad is tall, 6'2", strapping, working as a longshoreman, sometimes 72 hours. I mean, you're talking about a man of steel. You can't be a longshoreman and be anything else. You think picking up, pumping a little iron for a few minutes. Think about pumping iron
all day long,
hauling iron, picking it up, because they didn't have then the machinery to go in the bowels of ships and bring it to the hatch. The hatch is the opening that leads, down into the ship. And longshoremen had to literally pull that iron to an opening to be pulled up. Or if it's being loaded, you have to, when it goes down, you have to pull that to some location in the bowel of the ship. So that's who she's going to send me to. I gave it a backdrop. My daddy, no nonsense fella, no nonsense, and I performed cold turkey because that's. I remember one time my dad has never beat me. That was always my mother's job. Now when it's a capital offense, she called in the big gun. I said, "Oh no, Mama, no, please don't. I'll be good. I'll be good. You don't have to." So that's how my reformation came with that incident, and she never had any more trouble out of me.
Okay. Now, while you were in school here in High Point, now you're in your high school years, what activities did you engage in? Any extracurricular things?
Uh, Not really.
You had your job.
Had the job.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my extracurricular activity.
Okay, so when did you graduate from, and where did you graduate from here in High Point?
William Penn, class of 1952.
Okay, and did you go? What did you do then after graduation?
Oh, I went to work. went full-time work.
For 1 second, where did you go to this factory job at the age of 16? What factory did you go to?
Myrtle Desk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That is no longer here, but was very
Oh, it was
booming
yeah.
business. Okay, so now you graduated from high school and you've gone back to work where?
I went to work with Sylvania TV. They had a plant in High Point, Sylvania. Yeah, on South Main Street. And I went there, and then they were paying 75 cents an hour, which was the highest uh, paying factory in High Point. And the other manufacturers in High Point disliked that company a great deal because they were drawing the best employees with that kind of wage.
So when did Sylvania leave High Point?
Oh, they might have forced them out.
I'm coming. The reason I'm asking, I've been here in High Point since 1980.
Yeah.
And I don't ever remember Sylvania
Yeah.
during the time that I've been here.
No, well, Sylvania left probably in, this was the 50s, 60s or something like that, 70s at the latest, I think.
And I know that has been one of the complaints about the planners of High Point is that anytime an employer who's coming into town or wants to come into town and they pay good wages, they do not accept them and do not allow them in.
Yeah, won't extend the services,
Exactly.
sewage and electricity. They won't extend to do that.
And yet, their High Point was known and still is probably for multi-millionaires of family-owned business.
Well, that's how they made multi.
Exactly, keeping everybody.
They became multi-million, paying low wages, and reaping all of the benefits. Well, you know, it's no different than some of the countries. This is just a small country. High Point's a small country. No different than South America, Africa, whatever they go over and set up, and China. You get wealthy when you don't have to pay decent wages.
Now it's 1952. You've graduated, and you're working in a factory. How long did you work?
About 6. No, let's see. Until I worked in that summer of 52 until about 3 or 4 months in the factory.
And then what happened? What?
Well, Mr. Burford had been sending for me because he said I had not requested a transcript, requested the school to send my transcript anywhere. And so the word, through the grapevine, Mr. Burford's looking for you, And so, and everybody walked everywhere. No one had, there were about 2 or 3 cars, 2 or 3 teachers had cars. And teachers, everybody walked. And
teachers were the most professional things in most communities at that time.
Oh, well, he was most caring.
No, I mean teachers in general.
When teachers walked. Oh, yeah. Teachers walked. 1 or 2 doctors had cars. Okay. And when I saw stuff, they walked. And if I was going north, and he was headed south, and we were meeting, I would duck into a pool room or something, and then go out the back door so I wouldn't have to, face him, because he'd be asking about the school and all that sort of stuff. So this went on for months. And one day I was coming out of the barber shop, I was on the inside of the screen door, and he was on the outside. I didn't see him because I was looking down, brushing the hair off of my shirt. When I looked up, he was on the outside of the screen door, and I mean, I went ballistic because I'd been on the run for some time, and so we went outside to have it out. I was gonna get him off my trail. Leave me alone. We went over where Dr. Little's office is now, across the street from the barber shop. And there I vented. I mean, I hit him with my best shot. Everything I had, I unloaded on him. People telling me, you talk about I ought to be going to college and all that sort of stuff. And no, I don't appreciate that. But you know my mama ain't got no money. That's cold. You know my mama ain't got no money. And I took that to be, disrespectful to my mother because, uh, she ain't got no money. And you talk about then I asked the $64,000 question, how am I going to school? You know I ain't got no money. And he calmly said, you go the same way everybody else went. How do you think Mr. Euclid went to college? How do you think this one, that one? Just named all my male teachers. I said, how do they go to college? He said they worked their way through. Of course, not knowing anybody who finished elementary school hardly. What did I know about college? Mm-hmm. So I said, you mean you can go to college and work too? He said, of course. You can. He said, unless you're on honor roll, you can't take more than 4 hours a day. If you're on honor roll, you can take 5 hours a day. And he said that generally will leave you 20 hours to do whatever, work, study. You divide it. He said you can divide it up. Let's say you do 4 hours of study, so forth, so on. Just take your subjects and break them down and allot so much time. And even though dumb Sam could figure that out, oh, okay, I'll have time to do everything I need to do because he'd already laid it out for me. I said, okay, I'll go. And to say the rest is history. Having gotten to college, I had a brand new attitude.
When did you go off to college, and where did you go?
Went off to college in January of 53.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you went where?
To North Carolina College at Durham.
Which is now?
North Carolina Central University.
Okay. Was that considered a long way from going off to school there at that time?
Well, didn't make a lot of difference. We took the bus, wherever you were going. We didn't, I wasn't going to get homesick. And it didn't make any difference whether it was around the corner or around the state.
Do you remember if you had any discussion with your mother or your father about your plan?
No, I was grown. I haven't talked to anybody. This is what I've decided. Yeah, they let me make those decisions.
And what was their responses? What were their responses when they learned that you were going to college?
Well, study. My dad said, I'll, I'll help you as long as you make your grade. And I don't work as hard as I do and spend my hard-earned money. You to go to school and mess around. Said, as long as you want to go, I'll help you. Uh, and uh, he was good to his word, as he always was.
But did you have any concern that you say that you went, this was 1952, you were still in high school when the Korean conflict started. But were you threatened at all with having to go to the Korean conflict,
Uh,
which was
well, I
1950 to
I think I
1953?
did a deferment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're in college down in Durham at Central College.
North Carolina College.
Right. North Carolina College.
And
And what type of student were you there?
getting better all the time. Purpose. I studied day and night to, to, to bridge the gap. And yeah, ran a pretty good race.
Okay. Uh, some years ago, you mentioned that one of the best things that happened to you was being put in a certain class at the very beginning.
Yes.
Well,
I took remedial English. And I think that's probably the best thing that happened to me academically. And in all my years of school.
what was your major in college? I never knew.
Political science and history.
Okay. When did you decide on law? And what made you decide on law?
Well, I had always been interested in history. And one of my favorite uh, uh, characters or individuals uh, in history was Patrick Henry. His speech on the floor of the House of Burgesses impressed me. He came over to me as being a man of courage and conviction, who was uh, committed to standing up for, for justice at any cost. Give me liberty or give me death. I'm ready to die if, in the pursuit of liberty. And I suspect that that helped me as a lawyer. There was no fear. I conquered the fear of, of, of death, of being hurt. So what if I'm hurt? This is the price you pay in pursuit of liberty and protection of individual rights and so forth. That's what I took into the civil rights movement. Couldn't be bought, couldn't be bribed, because there's nothing I wanted.
Okay. We're going to discuss that more at length. But while you were there in law school, what were your experiences? What stands out to you there?
The greatest teachers ever. Greatest teachers.
Who were some of your teachers?
Dean Albert L. Turner, the Mrs. Anne McKay Duncan, the mother of Judge Allison Duncan, Sampson, taught taught law. His teacher was taught person who was the taught expert in Boston. That's where Sampson went. Fellow from Windsor, from Greensboro, honor graduate from Harvard. Dean Turner was honor graduate at the top of the class, ordered course, Northwestern University. A girl from Florida, Pensacola. Sybil Marie Jones,
She was a lawyer?
a law professor, lawyer and law professor,
Okay.
University of Chicago. Outstanding. Now,
These were all black teachers?
all black teachers. We had faculty comprised of handpicked people from Chapel Hill, handpicked people from Duke.
No, those were white teachers?
These are white teachers.
Mm-hmm.
They, when you, if you have the right, if the choice is yours to pick, pick the best. Sam, James Shepherd was an extraordinary man. This was the founder and president of North Carolina College in Durham. Extraordinary man, extraordinary. The way coaches go out and recruit star athletes today, he went around the country recruiting the best. He went to these schools and recruited the best students, those who were blacks on the law review back in the 50s.
In a white situation.
In a white situation.
Yeah.
They are law review. And then he brings them to North Carolina College. Herman Taylor was such a person. Herman was on the law review at Columbia, and
Mr. Taylor was a practicing lawyer in Greensboro.
And one of the top civil rights lawyers. We miss out on our history. We think that everything happened yesterday or today. And we appreciate what you're doing here so that people will know history. Herman was one of the great civil rights lawyers. You go into the North Carolina Supreme Court reporters, go in there. He fought single-handedly this system and won. He's a great scholar.
They tell me he was quite flamboyant in that during a trial he would change clothes 3 times.
Yeah.
It was like a performance, going.
Was like a little bantam rooster.
Yeah.
Would fight you as long as he could see you. And if you ran, he'd follow and run behind you, picking and pecking and scratching. Great lawyer. Those Sampson was one of the greatest tort lawyers ever, because again, great teachers produce great lawyers. The tort person who did tort reform and restatement taught him that.
I'd heard about him. I was in law school. When I was in law school, his son was in law school with me. Yeah.
Well, he was Sampson, Turner, Windsor, Harvard, taught taxation and that sort of stuff. We could see a professor within minutes after any class that we had. If we didn't understand it, all the law professors were located on the first level, and you could leave the classroom and go and have a conference with that teacher and lay out to him your inquiries, and he will walk you through it.
Well, I will tell you, Judge Chess, that is probably still vestiges of that, because one of the things that I admire most about uh, Central Law School now is that whenever we're at seminars or any place, the students and the teachers greet each other like no other teachers and students that I've seen and around the state and places that I've gone. That is that approachability that is still there. It's a wonderful thing.
It's very important. The one-on-one, uh, I don't know that there may be some students who can understand the nuances of the law from a lecture, and 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 a lecture that's given by another student. And schools, graduate students teaching, we had the real thing. We had these scholars. We had nothing but scholars, top scholars. Sam James Shepherd would not accept anything but the very best that these schools had to offer. And if it were not for the desegregation laws at the time, they would have been retained by universities that they attended, because they were among the top students. Up at Howard, Charles Houston was recommended by Frankfurter, who sat on the bench during the Brown v. Board and was a central figure. He was teaching at Harvard, and Hamilton was one of his students. And it was he who recommended to the president of probably Mike Johnson, or at the point he recommended to him that he appoint Hamilton as the dean of the law school, and he was
At Howard.
at Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Frankfurter mentored.
Justice, Supreme Court Justice.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mentored Houston, as you know how teachers are about prize students. He took him under his wing, and he assisted him and so forth. Maybe us legal theory. It was Charles Hamilton Houston who, with a few others, came up with the approach for attacking laws involving segregation. That was cooked up or hatched at Howard. And Thurgood
Thurgood Marshall.
Marshall
Mhm.
was a student of Hamilton. And see, very few people really understand the genesis of all of this. And again, what you are doing is invaluable because folks take commonly repeated
Accounts or
account
reports.
and that sort of thing without digging into it's easier to do that than to dig and get the genesis of all these things.
So whereas his professor could not make it to the Supreme Court, then Thurgood Marshall, the student, did.
So my student hopefully will be on the state Supreme Court or Court of Appeals or qualified to be on the U.S. Is
Your
you
student.
well grounded. Okay.
Oh.
She did that. She didn't know what I thought. It reminds me of, you remember, you've heard me tell a story often of this, the funeral that was taking place at a country cemetery. And the preacher, as they have to do, went on and on and on about this faithful husband, this great provider, this on and on and on and on. This ragged wife and barefoot children standing to the rear there, and the mother looked quite perplexed. She said, "Junior, go up there and be sure that's your daddy. Go up there and be sure that's your daddy." Well, that's the way you look. But you should not be dismayed because all those things are accurate about you. I can attest to them as a person who I've seen you develop. And
What activities did you engage in law school outside of just being a fantastic student?
I was president of the student bar and president of the graduate student body association. And I was a member. I was headed the delegation to argue in the Fourth Circuit group competition, and I headed that delegation.
Did you all at all at any time uh, come in contact with other law students, most particularly any white law students?
Well, I did, and a few others. There is an association, ALSA, the American Law Student Association. This was the only contact that we had because the American Law Student Association was governed by national a national constitution, which forbade people schools from from barring
Okay.
members based on race. And I had found that out, again, always reading up on all this stuff. And they didn't know. So when
you say they,
the the other schools and
the white schools that were
yeah.
members of the association.
And so when time came for the conference of ALOAS members to have its annual meeting, which was to be held in Lexington, Kentucky, Lexington, Virginia, at VMI, Virginia Military Institute. I wrote the president of the Fourth Circuit, and mentioned some cases, some rulings that I was satisfied that they didn't know about. They didn't know much about that because these things didn't apply to them,
Mhm.
make their own rules and so forth. But I pointed out certain decisions and let it be known that we expected all the rights and privileges of members of that association. And we would not, I would not let my delegation be subjected to anything less than full participation and all of the rights and privileges that pertain to that membership.
So, how many students made up your delegation?
Sterling Walker, Buddy Malone, and Moses Burke. So there were four of us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that experience like?
It was quite an experience. Yeah. But we laid the groundwork. This is back in the 50s. Laid the groundwork. And I'll talk about this sort of thing later on. You asked me about how I was received
Okay.
in various places.
So now you're in
Lexington. Oh, I'm
no,
sorry.
but you're in law school. Did you work while you were in law school?
I did.
What did you do there? When you were at Central?
Yeah, I was at the law school. At that time, one of the prime jobs at all schools was to be a campus representative of some major corporation. And number one plum was to represent a cigarette company. See, everybody smoked in the 50s and on up to not too long ago. Everybody smoked.
Mhm. No one knew the dangers at that.
Yeah.
At least the companies knew, but the public didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the Philip Morris Company was going to establish a campus representative in North Carolina College. And the word was out that they were going to be interviewing students for that position. And I was the first student to be interviewed. You must understand that uh, in 1955, $50 paid your room, board, tuition, all of these things for the year. It cost you $500 a year to attend North Carolina College at Durham. 500 per year.
Okay.
And this job paid $50 a month, which covered all your expenses. Could you imagine? And so the line snaked around uh, the canteen, the dining hall. This is a chance to get rich. $50 a month, all your all of your expenses. I was the first person interviewed, and Dick Mosby was the state representative for the Mormon country. And he said, I got other things to do. He said, I don't need to interview anybody. It's just be a waste of time, because I know that I won't find anybody on this campus that surpasses the interview, that can surpass the interview I've had with you. And I'm totally pleased, and close the shop and going on. So that's how that occurred.
Uh-huh.
And then the first job was I went to the dietitian who ran the dining hall.
But this is when you first went to Durham?
Yeah.
Okay. As an undergrad, too?
An undergrad.
Okay.
And I went to see they had a job. And I was told that, they had a job they've always had. And that's cleaning the bathrooms and, mopping the floors and so forth in the dining hall. And so I couldn't understand why it was, I don't want to take it. She said, you can have that. It's good, I'll take it. And the floors were mopped in such a manner, and the toilets were clean and so on, such a manner. I had all the faculty wives wanted me to clean the cottage where they lived. All the faculty lived on campus there.
Is that right?
Because the dietitian told them about this boy that scrubbed in the corners and that sort of thing. And so I, because of the way I did that, I got other jobs, and I was promoted to her assistant. Came all the way up the line from scrubbing the floors in the bathroom and cleaning the commode to her assistant. And that's her assistant.
At the cafeteria?
At the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
I kept the time for all the other students that worked there. I think 125. I kept their time, calculated what was owed so that I could get credit or checks and so forth. But, and then she became my mother away from home. First, uh, what's the well, there were cakes that I never heard of. She gave my birthday party. She would give at her home for me and
Uh-huh.
invite my friends and that sort of stuff. All because he's a nice boy. That was that's all I knew how to do. You know, just be a nice little
Nice young man.
yeah,
Oh, country.
country boy. That's what
Okay.
you're doing. Nothing special. Just this thing of cleaning. My dad said, "I don't care what you do it well. You know, you assign to sweep streets, make them shine. Do a good job."
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's what I'm.
So that job led to the job that you're now as the representative for the cigarette company.
Yeah.
What exactly did you do as the representative for the cigarette company?
Well, all of the colleges had sororities, fraternities, and then there were other social gatherings. And my job was to hand out these little 4 packs uh, of packages of cigarettes. I'd go, and then I'd just go and like folks put candy or something in bowls.
Uh-huh.
I'd go and put put out a number of cigarettes in these bowls for people to pick up, and that was it. And that didn't happen often because they'd see me the days that I gave out cigarettes. They would students would meet me. I had the box. They'd meet me on the way from the dorm to the main campus. And by the time I got to the main campus, I didn't have any left because I didn't have any cigarettes left. You know, giving them out and stuff like that. My job was done for the day.
Just, am I picking up here? You were, anybody with that job, y'all were like the pushers of,
That's right. That's, that was it.
pushers.
Pushing cigarettes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
my next job was uh, after I was in school a bit, Mrs. Duncan, uh, but Duncan's daughter, I mean mother,
uh-huh.
had me to hired me to be her assistant, and that proved to be a blessing because all she just Mr. Chess, get out from under me, go somewhere. So when I was that paid, that was enough to pay for my room board also. So I had 3 or 4 jobs that uh, paid my room board, but then all the overage did what I wanted to. Yes, they gave me a check and I could only pay the bill for one, you know, my room board and tuition. But she, yeah, go 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 study. So uh, my work time was study time
Okay.
with her uh, guiding and supervising and counseling and mentoring a great lady.
What did she do she was at the law school?
Yes,
What did she do
she
there?
was the law librarian.
Oh, okay.
She taught ethics and some other courses, but very important ethics. Great lady, great lady.
Now, were you able to save money?
I had money, I'd saved money to start a practice. I had money to start a practice. I saved, yeah. I told you I had 3. All those jobs uh, were more than enough were at least enough to pay for my room and board monthly. And I had all those jobs the whole time I was in school.
So your parents didn't have to assist at all.
No, and I had that also. My daddy not only uh, paid for my room and board, he gave me a $15 allowance each month. And most kids, I was rich because they were lucky to be in school and to have $15 to do with what you want. When Cokes were 5 cents and uh, you can get ice cream for 5 cents and so forth. And $15, that was a lot. That was a lot of money.
On a personal note, now I know that you've always, since I've known you, since 1980, you've always loved clothes. Was that the beginning of your love in clothes when you had the money to buy them?
When I come home, I always had, you know, I'd stop by the hub or the young men's shop. Yeah, because I had the money to do it.
Okay.
I had the money to do it. But the thing that helped most was my willingness to listen and to grow from this student to a top-notch student academically.
And so when did you graduate from law school?
1950.
1958. So you went directly from undergrad right on into law school?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just during the time we're discussing the safety or the lack thereof of your work during the civil rights movement, you mentioned that you have two daughters, and they were very small at the time. Would you tell us something about your daughters? How old are they? How old are they now?
Well, they're grown, and
what are their names?
Eva and Janet. Eva is a lawyer and lives in Chicago and in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Janet, the younger daughter, lives in Atlanta and is with the Xerox Corporation. She's been with them ever since graduation from University of South Carolina. She still resides there. She's happy and she enjoys Atlanta, enjoys her work. He lives up there in the cold country. Likes it.
You mentioned that Eva lives in both Chicago and Wisconsin.
She is with one of the health largest in the nation. And they are headquartered in Milwaukee. And she lives in Chicago. And she used to commute from Chicago. It's about a 90-mile commute.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to commute from Chicago to Milwaukee. She got tired of that commute in a hurry.
I would imagine, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she bought a condo in Milwaukee on the lake. And so she stays there during the week, and on the weekend goes to Chicago.
All right. Do you have any grandchildren?
No grandchildren.
Okay.
No grandchildren. And prospect having grandchildren has passed. Yeah.
But it sounds like you should be very proud.
Well, I am, of course. We are always of our children. We, you know, they've done well. They've not done anything to dishonor me, but rather to make me extremely proud. I'm very proud of them. Eve uh, got scholarships to a lot of law schools. She was at Chapel Hill, and the dean at Virginia called and said, "Young lady, apparently you didn't get our letter of acceptance." So she said, "Yes, sir, I got the letter, but I was offered a scholarship to law school here at Chapel Hill, although I didn't want to do my whole uh, educational tour here. But since they gave me a scholarship uh, to stay," he said, "What scholarship is it?" And she told him. He said, "Well, I guess you know uh, that they can cancel that scholarship after 1 year." He said, "Here's what I will do." He said, "I will give you a contract uh, for 4 years, non-cancelable, and give you a substantial uh, stipend uh, for for the year for all your expenses." And for that period, it was quite substantial. So now you call Chapel Hill and tell them to see if they can top that. He said, "Well, we know there's no way they can." Virginia has one of the greatest endowments, in the higher educational arena. And but yeah, so she went. She went to Virginia, and she was on the board of business, and got a got a company to help to endow a Thurgood Marshall scholarship. I went up. Dan and I went up to Chicago uh, for that. For that presentation.
Okay, Miss was at the University of Virginia for an endowment. Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds wonderful.
Jan, economics major from Chapel. She is an economics major. She went to
Just to say that you went straight through undergrad and law school.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any particular plan to do that?
No, I started to drop out of school in
At what point?
in 1953. I would have been my sophomore year, and there was an announcement by the Department of the Army or Defense that as of maybe December 31st of that year, the GI Bill would be discontinued. And like most young black men at that time, uh, I had the GI Bill as a part of my educational plan, to finance my education. I thought there was no way I could be in school, you know, undergrad and law school uh, without work and that sort of stuff. And so I had planned to drop out. I went to see my advisor, Dr. Joe Taylor, who later became president of Bethune-Cookman. I went to him and told him that I was thinking about, I planned to drop out of school and join the Army before the deadline expired. And he said, Judge, I don't think you ought to do that. He said, I know you plan to come back. Your plans are intentional, but whether or not that will occur uh, is another thing. He said a lot of students leave and say they're coming back, and they sincerely plan to come back, but circumstances beyond their control prevent them from ever getting back in college. So he said that as you sit there now, with all your heart and soul, you intend to come back in 4 years. He said, but in 4 years, you'll be 24. And the record shows that a 24-year-old will have a wife, one or more children, house payments or rent, car, other obligations that will soak up every dollar that you can scrape up. He said, and you won't be able to come back, though you want to. And so my advice to you is to stay in school, and we will try to put together a plan for you to cover your financial needs. And I
heeded that advice.
I heeded that advice.